Good morning, this is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. Starting to see those clouds clearing out of the area this morning with some cold and breezy conditions. We are currently in a wind advisory as we have seen those winds above 25 knots. Also seeing those wind chill values down around 10 degrees at this time, and the main story for the next couple days will be those cold conditions as well as some windy conditions staying in the area. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, we can see the system that brought the additional snow last evening as well out of the area, still seeing that tight pressure gradient locally here, and that's going to funnel those winds through the area as well as some of that colder air into the area as we move over the coming days. Still seeing some light radar returns across the region with some flurries around, but not expecting any additional snowfall as we move through the rest of the week. If we look at current conditions this morning, seeing a few clouds around 3,100 feet, winds out of the northwest at 13 knots. We are seeing those peak winds up above 25 knots. So again, currently in a wind advisory, and we'll likely see that continue through our working hours today. Actual temperature right around 23 degrees with those wind chills around 10, and seeing our relative humidity at 63%. Take a look at our current visible satellite. We could see the snowfall that has fallen across the area over the last day or so, and otherwise seeing those clouds start to clear out of here, just some lingering low-level clouds streaming off the bay with those elevated winds. If we look at the short-term model here to see what we can expect, again, not expecting any additional precipitation as we move through the remainder of the work week, but we'll be dealing with cold temperatures and that pressure gradient staying tight with things remaining breezy through this time period as well. So well below average temperatures, and we'll see our wind chill values quite uncomfortable as we move through the coming days. But as you can see here, no precipitation expected for the next couple of days. So looking at our 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we'll see red conditions for our winds at or above 25 knots, as we do expect to remain in a wind advisory through much of the day, likely seeing those winds peaking out of the northwest 12 to 17 knots, gusting up to 30 knots. We'll see our temperature just right around freezing with a high around 33 degrees. And we have an orange risk this morning for those wind chill values at or below 10 degrees, as we are right around that threshold at this time. I'll likely see that back to green as we get into the afternoon with that peak temperature this afternoon. And then going into the evening time frame, we'll see winds slack off a bit, allowing us to go back to green conditions for our winds at or above 25 knots. Just seeing those peak winds expected up around 20 knots as we move through the overnight and into the morning hours of Wednesday. Low temperatures will drop off to around 21 degrees. So once again, we pick up a yellow risk and then eventually an orange risk for those wind chill values. Once again, getting at or below 10 degrees Fahrenheit through the morning time frame. Overall, cloud-wise, expecting just a few clouds around as we move through the day today, right around that 3,000 to 2,500 foot level. Maybe seeing a scattered deck, but most likely just seeing a few clouds around. And that continues as we go into the evening with a few high clouds around as well. And we'll have a chance possibly of seeing a ceiling around 2,500 feet as those winds continue and some of that moisture and cloud cover from the bay swings through the area. That is possible, but most likely staying around few to scattered layer at that layer. And then similar conditions as we start today on Wednesday. Tides running normal, and for our Wednesday, we'll see partly cloudy conditions. Once again, breezy and cold. Wind chill values in the teens. High will be around 33 degrees once again, and we'll have an orange risk for those elevated winds. Good chance we see a wind advisory for some period for tomorrow as well. Going into Wednesday evening, we'll see the winds back off slightly, but still remaining slightly breezy, and we'll see cold conditions. Once again, a low around 19 degrees, and those wind chill values will be back down into the single digits. And we'll see an orange risk for those winds at or above 25 knots, as we do expect those winds to start to increase as we get into the start of the day, Thursday, with Thursday being partly cloudy to mostly sunny and breezy. Looking at a red risk for winds at or above 25 knots. Likely we'll see a wind advisory through the day on Thursday, and that will keep those wind chill values in the upper single digits and lower teens, as we'll see our high likely stay below freezing for Thursday with a high around 31 degrees. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.